Hi guys, it's Sweetet and I want to do an ICAD today. It's just a very simple, quick, easy acrylic painting, but I'm playing with the colors. This is a painting that I do when I need to get something decorated, but it's not something I'm going to look at, really. This is an art journal that I did. I spent time on the cover, but I needed to do something on the back and I didn't want to spend that kind of time. So I just threw together this very quick night mountainscape. It's a really common type of painting that you find. And this one I used this really dark blue and then a pink and of course white. And this time I want to use purple and sweet pea with, of course, some white. So we'll see how this turns out. I might come into my purple first, and that's another thing. I need to use up my acrylics, my craft acrylics, because I don't use them often enough. And I just want to get some paint on here. Now I think I'm just doing little X's, and I'm just trying to determine if that's going to be, I want a little texture in the sky, so I'll leave it sort of like that. Just from where I was making the X's, this is a huge brush for an ICAD. It's a 1-inch flat. It's actually a painting with Jane brush. I like the brushes that she used, and her set was not terribly expensive. And I've got a glare. We moved the art fixture, we moved the light and thought that we had gotten it, but we didn't, because it's actually coming from a reflection off the window, which is why it's been so hard to figure out how to get rid of it, because it's not always there. It's only there when it starts getting dark at night. So we'll see how this works, and I apologize. I've been messing with the light, and now it's messing with me. So I've got a little bit of texture in the sky. Now I want to do the water, and I think that I will, let's see, take some of this purple, and I need to clean my brush off and then go into the sweet pea. Show you what I'm doing. I've got my ice cube tray out. This is a transparent purple that I put on the card, and then I was trying to find out why it didn't show up. It's a transparent purple. Yeah, that's why it doesn't show up. So pick up a little bit of this sweet pea, not necessarily a whole lot, and try to mix it with that purple that needs to be used up. It's kind of gooey, and I don't think that's going to be dark enough. I want a little bit of difference between, sorry if I hit you there, I want a little bit of difference, not necessarily that much, but this purple of course doesn't want to cooperate with me. It's doing a little bit. Heck, I just need to put some more in there and darken it on up. Stop playing around here. And I've let paint get too far up my brush. And this is what I mean, it's kind of gloppy. I have not been good about using my craft acrylics, so I'm trying to get just a little bit better. I don't want it all to go bad. And you know what, I'm gonna do this. I like this ice cube tray because it keeps my colors separate. And let's say I was doing a more involved painting, if I didn't have time to finish it, I can spritz the lid. It comes with a nice lid, and I can spritz the lid with water, put the top on, and walk away and come back the next day, and my paints are still good. I usually gently mist the paint too. Okay, so that should be a little bit different, and do this. My water bucket's in the way. There we go. All right. Now I'm going straight across. That's sort of what water does. And I'm letting it stay with a little bit of texture too. I think I'm gonna put another coat of this purple on. I don't know. It's kind of nice because there's the purple with the black gesso behind it. I'm thinking that may work pretty well. Yeah, I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I can do that. Alright, so now for my mountain range. I like the mountain range to be you know, I do have to lighten that sky a little bit because I like my mountain range to be really, really dark. And what we're seeing is the black coming through. And it's going to be hard for the mountains to show up. So I'm picking up some purple over here. And that's, I don't know how I got I don't know how I did that. Somehow I got this to be the same color as my water. I just went into my purple. That's not cool. So, just giving it some streaks in the sky with the edge of my brush. And we will see what happens when I dry this. I'm rinsing out my brush now. So I go back to school soon. We start really early. The teachers go back way early. We have like 6 days of professional development, which I think is insane. Bear with me, it's going to be noisy. Let's see if I can prop this board up. It helps eliminate some of that glare. There. Okay. I'm actually working on a clipboard. I find that they make great, I don't even know what to call this. Great little things to tape your work on. That's it. And let's get a little black out, since my purple isn't really dark. This is Deco Art, Crafters Acrylic Black. Whoa! That I just poured into my palette. I mean, just dumped all that black. I really wanted a little bit, but we got more than that. Now I'm going to put my purple in another bin. Or why don't I just do this? Let me dry my brush. And I'm dipping into my black and adding it to the purple. And that's the purple that I used for the water, but it turned out to be like the same color as my, water. It turned out to be basically the same color as my sky, which is not what I was after, but I think we got it to work out. Okay. And now mixing. This is kind of what I'm doing here. That's not... I don't know. I'll put that down. I'm not sure about that color. It's kind of grayish. Okay, I will put my mountains peaks kind of off center. So my moon will go right here. And let's do another lesser. And sort of swooping up over here. Another gentler peak. Let that one sort of come off. And bring that down. So I have several peaks. Now I'm just trying to delineate between my water and my mountains. There we go. Alright, a couple of places for some highlights and more interest over here. Okay. Where I'm going to put my moon. So that color is darker, it works, that's fine. And I really need to put the humongous brush up. My next step, I need to dry this. So again, I apologize for the noise. Here we go. Okay, it's thick in a couple areas and I don't mind that, but I do want it to dry a little bit. So I'm going to work on my moon. Now what I like to do is work basically dark to light, and that means this is a big brush for this. Let me get a smaller brush. I know they say work with, you know, as big a brush as you can, but that's just too big. Okay, so I'm going into that sweet pea color, and that actually will be the dark part of my moon. Just gonna put the and I'm really not trying to get perfectly round, but I am trying to get round. And I'm not going for perfect coverage either. Okay, so there's my moon, and it's really right close to the mountains. Maybe almost touching right there. That's alright. It's not quite touching. So there's not, I don't really have full coverage. And I'm a little pushed for room working this small. I'm trying to see, I want this defined a little bit more. There. Okay. So that needs to dry. While that's drying, I can begin to put in the reflection of the moon in the water. I will go into that same sweet pea, and it needs to line up, so it's got to be right here. It will be wider and going narrower, and you want to sweep it across like that. You want it to be kind of jagged on the ends and taper down. And then right on top of that, while it's still a little bit wet, I'm going into my white, And the white I'm going to put in will be a little bit narrower than that pink, and it is going to blend in places, but that's okay. It just gives the reflection just a little bit more depth. It's a little more faded out on the edges and brighter in the center. Now we need to do that with the moon, and here's what I do. I just go into the white and I sort of a tippy tap randomly until I have something I think is sort of moony, and that's all I do. This can be overdone. You can get too much white in there, but what you want is some of that pink to show through and some of the white, so it looks like craters in the moon. Well, if I was doing craters in the moon, I would do the dark, but so that the moon has a little bit more texture because it's not solid. And we only have one more thing to do. As I said, this is a super quick and easy, but it's fun. And relaxing. And what we want to do is put the reflections from the moon in the mountain. Now it's going to be brightest where the moon is, and then it's going to be darker on the side of the mountain where the moon is not. So I'm going to go in. I go into my pink first, and so it's going to be right here. And let's make that kind of sketchy. Coming on down. Come down. However, I'm putting another little peak in right there. Okay. And I stop just short. I'm going to come down a little bit right there. We've got to do it over here. Here's the peak. Coming down. I can't quite see what I'm doing. Okay. I don't like this right here, so I think I'll bring that on down to meet that one there. Bring this down a little bit, and then this side of the mountain we have that other peak, and then there'll be some light right here coming in, and there'll be maybe another little peak right there. And we will have, I need to leave a little gap right here. So I'm not going to come this way. And I'm going to create right there. Now we generally get odd little crevices right there, and I think I'm going to stop. You can overdo this, and I don't really want to overdo, but I think I'm going to bring this down a little bit so it's shading that. Okay, this is with my pink, and you notice it's not very bright, not very dark. I didn't refresh the color. Now we can go into the white and add the really bright highlights, and they will be right in here close. Oh, my lamp is kind of flashing at me. Right here, and I blended that too much. Okay, and then I'm going to stop. I'm not going to bring that in. I'm going to leave that one kind of dark. this will be a little bit brighter. And see, this is still going to be bright, but not as bright. And let's see, I'll do the same thing here. I'm going to put a little bit right here along the ridge where it would be catching the moonlight the most. Same thing here. That will not be, let's see, I might have a little here and maybe just a bit there. I don't know what to do with this. I think I really kind of messed that up. I'm looking at it. Maybe I should just leave it so it doesn't call attention. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Okay. So it's really that simple. And I'm not the best at this. It's just a quick and easy, relaxing, don't stress over it. And even though I stuck this a few times before I stuck it to the painting, it still pulled it off a little bit. But I'm not going to worry about it, and I think I will actually leave it. I was going to put like some type of border or whatever that is uneven. But there it is. One of my little ICADs. So thank you guys for joining. Please, if you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you back next time. Bye.